In the heart of Canton, Texas, a small town known for its first Monday trade days, a different kind of battle is unfolding. This battle is not fought over antiques or livestock, but over something far more fundamental: the right to worship freely. At the center of this struggle stands New Beginnings Fellowship Church, a Mennonite congregation led by Bishop Joe Donaldson, a man who is no stranger to standing up for his beliefs. New Beginnings Fellowship was more than just a place of worship. It was a beacon of hope in the community, providing shelter, food, and counseling to those in need. Their doors were open to all, reflecting the Mennonite tradition of service and compassion. But in 2020, those doors were abruptly closed. Judge Chris Martin, citing permit and code violations, issued a permanent injunction against the church. While the city maintained these were standard procedures, many within the congregation and beyond saw a different motive at play: an infringement on their religious freedom. The church's closure was a devastating blow, but worse was to come. Shortly after the judge's ruling, the church was vandalized. The damage was extensive, totaling over $250,000, but it was the nature of the vandalism that truly shook the community. Satanic graffiti marred the walls, a chilling reminder of the hostility that sometimes greets those who dare to live their faith openly. The closure of New Beginnings Fellowship Church and the subsequent vandalism sent shockwaves through the community. It raised questions about fairness, justice, and the boundaries of religious freedom in a nation that claims to uphold it. The battle for New Beginnings was far from over. It was, in fact, just beginning. The legal battle surrounding New Beginnings Fellowship Church is a tangled web of local ordinances, state legislation, and constitutional rights. On the surface, the city's case seemed straightforward. The church had violated building codes and therefore must remain closed. However, to Bishop Donaldson and his congregation, the issue ran far deeper. They saw the city's actions as a deliberate attempt to stifle their religious practice. As the case dragged on, a glimmer of hope emerged from the state legislature. In 2021, Texas lawmakers passed a bill specifically prohibiting court orders from closing places of worship. This was followed by an even stronger measure in 2023, when the Texas Constitution was amended to explicitly forbid government officials from shuttering religious spaces for any reason. These legal victories seemed to pave the way for New Beginnings to reopen its doors. However, the city of Canton, represented by attorney Edwin Voss, had a different interpretation. Voss argued that both the 2021 law and the 2023 constitutional amendment were not retroactive. In essence, he claimed they did not apply to Judge Martin's 2020 order, leaving the church in a legal limbo. The congregation found themselves in the frustrating position of seemingly having the law on their side, yet remaining unable to exercise their right to worship in their own church. The legal back and forth highlighted the complexities of religious freedom in the face of local ordinances and judicial interpretation. For the congregation of New Beginnings Fellowship, the fight was about more than just building permits. It was about protecting their right to practice their faith without fear or interference. Bishop Joe Donaldson, a man of quiet strength and unwavering faith, became the face of the New Beginnings Fellowship Church's struggle. He was thrust into the spotlight not by choice, but by circumstance. Despite the legal challenges, the emotional toll, and the threat of personal consequences, he refused to back down. His determination stemmed from a deep-seated belief that his fight was not just about one church, but about a fundamental right afforded to all Americans. Donaldson found himself facing a difficult choice: obey a court order he believed to be unjust or defy it and face the consequences. Legal experts advised him that reopening the church could result in contempt of court charges, potentially leading to fines or even jail time. This presented a significant personal risk, especially considering Donaldson's health. He required expensive surgery, the cost of which would fall on Canton taxpayers if he were incarcerated. Yet he remained undeterred. The situation illuminated a stark reality: the fight for religious freedom can be a costly one. Donaldson's willingness to risk his own liberty for the sake of his congregation and his faith resonated deeply with many. His stand became a rallying cry, drawing attention to the plight of the church and the broader implications for religious freedom nationwide. The situation in Canton became a microcosm of the larger debate over the limits of government authority and the importance of safeguarding individual liberties, even when those liberties might be unpopular or inconvenient. The story of New Beginnings Fellowship Church is a stark reminder that religious freedom, while enshrined in the Constitution, is not always easily won or maintained. It requires constant vigilance, unwavering courage, and a willingness to stand up for what is right, even when it is difficult. The legal battle continues, but the fight for new beginnings has already transcended the courtroom steps, sparking a national conversation about the importance of religious liberty in the 21st century. As the Mennonite elders plan a nationwide demonstration in Canton, seeking to reclaim their church property, the nation will be watching. The outcome of this demonstration, and the legal battles that are sure to follow, will have far-reaching implications. It is a crucial test of whether the promises of religious freedom enshrined in the Constitution hold true, even in the face of local opposition and legal maneuvering. This is not just the fight of one small church in Texas. This is a fight for the soul of religious freedom in America. It is a fight that demands our attention, our support, and our willingness to stand alongside those who are being silenced. We must ask ourselves, what are we willing to do to protect the right to worship freely, not just for ourselves but for generations to come? The time for complacency is over. The time to act is now. Speak out against religious intolerance, contact your elected officials, and support organizations that are fighting for religious freedom. The future of religious liberty in America may very well depend on it.